because they couldn't get the same conveyance license. And we couldn't convince the Coast Guard
to come out and look at a little boat in Arizona.
Yes.
Intently.
Yes. So I'm just mentioning this because even though I didn't write any of that statute, even it's not my client, I'm telling you that we are, as an organization, part of this process. And if that is what's happening, or if that's a result of what's happening, or even if it's not, in this business that we approve never gets off the ground, and this is the kind of shit that we will never get credit for.
Right.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Director of Government and Community Affairs for the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Executive Director Andrew Baum. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
So what's been going on with you?
I'm still kind of in recovery mode.
Damn.
A little bit.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was in Flagstaff over the weekend. Really didn't do very much. Just enjoyed the weather. We didn't go out. We ordered pizza in, drank whatever beer we had on hand.
Hung out on the back porch?
Back porch, front porch.
Brady took my car and went up camping Monday, Tuesday, and gets back today, so up near Payson.
Yeah, we looked. We did go to Beaver Street, Brenda and I. Everybody's queued up to get a patio seat at Lumberyard and some other joints, and then you go to Beaver Street.
The most beautiful patio in town.
I know, yeah.
Brady's on PTO.
Paid time off, right?
Yes. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Labor Day goes, it's pretty mellow.
Yeah.
I understand there were some Labor Day protests that were a little bit more than normal.
I didn't hear anything about it, so that was weird.
Yeah.
I thought we're kind of tuned into that, but I guess maybe I wasn't looking.
Yeah, no. Yeah, after getting back from Scotland, just kind of came down with more or less a common cold, and then just having trouble getting my back in this time zone. So that's really it.
Yeah. It's not a great combo, being sick and jet lagged.
Yeah, no.
Although they do tend to kind of ride together.
Yeah, somewhat. So I don't know. Do you have some of the things that are going on in the beer industry? Because I've been kind of tuned out a little bit.
I got a little bit. Yeah, sure.
I noticed there was a great article that I have yet to read in All About Beer. That it's mostly about the rise and fall of the craft beer bar. Is that something on your list?
Oh, no, I don't have that one.
I'll have to send that to you. We can talk about it down the road. It had a picture of the now empty Falling Rock,
yeah.
patio. And a few people posted it, and I read some of the comments. I didn't have the time to get really into it. I know that's going on. What else is going on?
We've got Budweiser doing some distributor.
Oh yeah,
moves.
Yeah. That is concerning.
They've
for sure.
Between 6 to 9 small distributors have gotten some kind of official warning or yell at or something about not moving enough beer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's like their specialty seasonal things that aren't getting enough play through these smaller organizations. I'm not sure exactly what the word is, but we don't really have what you would call small distributors here. Certainly not in the networks.
They're small and
Like we do. Like there's Canyon.
Yeah, Canyon in 3 counties
Yeah.
in the southeastern part of the state.
Right.
Romer used to be larger. It is somewhat smaller, and my assumption is eventually that's going to be subsumed by Hensley.
I mean, really, we just deal with only a few here in Maricopa County, and I just don't hear anything about the other ones, other than when I'm talking to my friends in the industry who say, "Oh, got something going to Canyon or whatever,"
Right.
which isn't very often.
Right, but that Canyon is not in Bud network at all. You're talking about Budweiser saying, "Hey, you're not moving enough of our stuff, you small guys." So what just strongly worded letter?
I don't know.
I know they're selling off some of their key distributors can be owned by breweries, large breweries. There was an exception made, and my understanding is they're selling those off, some of them, to Reyes, and what that the implication is, you're getting multi-state distributors.
Right.
And even though, I guess, ideally, nobody likes the fact that Budweiser owns its own distributors, I think selling them to the largest of the multi-state operations is concerning. So, I mean, but...
I don't know. Shelf space isn't getting bigger, and honestly, at this point, I don't know a lot of breweries that are trying to get into grocery that aren't already there.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. We need to look at that. I hope that a lot of people are back to reality on what that means. I mean, there are definitely some. I just talked to somebody at Hensley a couple days ago, more on the policy side and less on the nuts and
operations.
bolts.
Yeah.
And they were very excited about picking up Fate and Pedal House and Rent House as part of that scout sale. And I'm not. I mean, they definitely are in a company that could propel them to be majorly involved in the grocery stores. I don't know what those breweries' intentions are exactly.
Right.
If that's something they want to bite off, and it'll be very clear when that happens.
That wasn't really a thing with Scott, though, right? Grocery distribution.
I mean, I think they were realistic about what they could do.
Yeah.
No, so anyone who went there, there were breweries that had the opportunity to go with. For simplicity's sake, we'll just say Crescent and Hensley. We won't name all the various parts across the state, but I think them not going to that was decidedly, we do not want to, get more than 1 or 2 SKUs
Right.
in a grocery store. We are not focusing on one brand and
Making 12 different SKUs out of that one. Yeah.
right, and making that our main the bulk of our production.
Sure.
So I mean, when you look, Rent House seems to always have a pretty large catalog of things they're always working on.
Right.
Fate, similarly, Pedal House. They're not, just focused on a couple brands.
Right.
At this point, especially since, Pedal House and Fate cater to more of an in-house restaurant type of thing. So,
And Wren House with their 4 locations.
Yeah. So.
I mean, seems like they have a lot more capacity, though. Maybe not. I mean, Pedal House has the same capacity that Wren House does, right?
Yeah.
Wren House has the 2 breweries, though.
Yeah. But the bulk of their package operation has to be Prescott, I would think.
Yeah, and look, Oso's been with Hensley for long enough to have already gone through this entire journey that these guys are just getting into, right?
Right. Well,
I know. Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
How are you today, man?
Well,
Rolling along.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Looking forward to. Well, I'm looking forward to my next trip.
Oh yeah, when is it?
I think I leave the 20th or so. about a week. Going to Madrid.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it's the third time to Madrid in almost as many years.
Cool.
So started watching a lot more things on Spain and Madrid. My video and also my Netflix and also all of my online presence is totally like Ireland and Scotland for some reason. And I have not been to Ireland in a long time. It just kind of gloms them together.
I sent you a message the other day. I clicked on some link in a post and it opened LinkedIn.
Oh.
And now I'm like, oh God, everything's going to be LinkedIn for the next 2 weeks. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That does happen. The algorithm sees you.
yeah. And you just can't shake it sometimes. And
Right.
you walk away and all of a sudden like, well, how did I get here? Like, especially on YouTube.
How'd you get to Ireland, Rob?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I did learn, that although the ethnic tribal component to being Scottish and Irish are very similar, they're not the same.
Right.
And it's more of a function of when those Nordic Viking populations met with indigenous people and when they basically had their wars, and is why they both have Gaelic backgrounds, but it's just the degree and when they were influenced by Nordic culture, either marauding or trade or otherwise.
And when they decided to fight with England?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Oh, that,
yeah.
I mean, similar, but not the
Yeah.
same.
Well, and the Roman influence coming up through England. So they speak Gaelic differently. There's a different inflection. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. We didn't go to Glasgow, so I didn't have the problem I thought I was going to have, sort of picking up people's accent. Parts that we went to were easy to follow along. I mean,
Right.
they
they spoke English
yes.
with a heavy Scottish accent that can be difficult.
It depends on where you are. Glasgow is, my understanding, is one of the most difficult. But we didn't go there. We were in Edinburgh, and we also were in some of the parts of the country where, there's a Scottish component to the monarchy. They stay at Balmoral in the middle of the Highlands, and so there's a lot of more British influence there.
Huh.
I don't know.
Huh.
I guess we could just get into this.
There
now.
we are, back to Scotland. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's been a while since I've been back. I don't think I talked about it. And there's definitely some beer value to it. As you know, UK has the Tide House pub system, so it's just slightly different in Scotland. You get Belhaven and Tennent's.
Different brands, but same system.
Yeah, in terms of, if you're going to a Tennent's bar, you're going to get mostly Tennent's. Although, there were some locals to pick up. One of my favorite breweries has, from there, just based on what I had, it was the Black Isles Brewery. Because they're in Inverness, which is North Highlands. And they also have some placements in just north of Edinburgh where we were. Cask ales.
Plenties?
Not as prevalent as in London, but you're always going to have 3 or 4 cask ales. Now, whether they're on the rebreathing system, I would guess probably.
I would hope.
Yeah. I don't think they're pouring through the volumes that they used to, but you're going to get your Scottish style ales, lagers. We didn't tour a brewery,
Okay.
although we did go to a brewery location,
Uh-huh.
the Black Isles. Had a delicious cask porter there,
Cool.
and I don't know. We did some distilleries, a couple, and then after that, my drinking ceased for a couple days.
And it gave into something else.
Yeah, we landed in Edinburgh, and I will tell you, if you're considering Scotland, I would not go in August.
Beware of August.
August.
The Ides of August.
August is...
See, that's the difference between Ireland and Scotland.
In Edinburgh, in particular, but also Glasgow, they have what's called Fringe Fest for almost the entire month. And it's just like, in Edinburgh, it's just street performers, and they're encouraging you to go to some of the nightclubs and theaters to watch plays and musicals, and I'm sure it's fantastic if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're into that kind of thing, then you're not exploring the rest of Scotland. You're just there, and you're paying.
I mean, you were there.
But
you could have been into it if you weren't.
Yeah, I think perhaps if I had gone to Edinburgh as much as I've gone to Madrid or other places, then maybe like, I'll spend an evening. I'll devote
it a little bit, yeah.
But here's the thing. You're paying like $600 a night to stay in Edinburgh. And
because of the festival and so
Yeah.
many things there and
Yeah.
supply and demand.
Right. And you're saying, hey, let's go have lunch. And now you're skipping over places because it's crowded.
Packed.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, unless you are a theater kid or you are an improv performer and that's your jam, then treat it like a conference, then go to that. But no, otherwise, no. So we did the right thing in terms of like, we landed there and we immediately left to go other parts. But we had to come back, and we came back, and then just, there's a lot to do in Edinburgh. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Right.
But we got into Edinburgh at 7 in the morning. By 8:30, you're in your rental car, driving on the right side of the road, on the left side of the road. And
in an automatic.
Yeah, we talked about that. It takes about 2 or 3 days when you're super comfortable with that, by the way. And if you're going on the larger M highways, not a problem. It seems pretty normal. But if you're in some of the A highways, which are 2 lanes, or in a town with a million side streets, it can get kind of weird. It's always when you start off, you're like, you start to think like, where do I have to be? And or when you're making turns on streets where there's not necessarily a lot of cars, and you get to a street where there's cars, like, oh shit, I am over the line here. I need to move over. But there was never any peril.
Good.
I don't think.
My parents seem to want to go back to Ireland, and my dad says, I'm not taking one of those tours again.
Yeah.
Because they've taken the bus tours a couple times, and he's like, I just hate being on that rigid schedule and not being able to just explore.
Yeah. It just sounds like they have to find a different tour company. I'm sure there's something that's a little more loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
You can hire drivers
locally
to carry you a couple, 3-4 days and do whatnot. But we got it in Edinburgh. We headed towards Oban.
I've heard of this.
Yes, it is Oban, not Oban.
Okay.
Did pick up a few things. There are things in the Scottish language where you read it and like, oh no, there's 1 or 2 assumed
pronunciations.
Well, they add extra things to it.
Okay.
So like the Scottish word for where they live, Scotland, is Alaba, but it's spelled ALBA. So you're adding a extra
sounds that letters don't exist in the word. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's Oban.
Oban.
And I gotta catch myself not saying Oban. There's a distillery there. We got there too late to actually partake in any tours there. But it's a small sea coastal town fishing, and it's the sort of gateway to a lot of the Scottish Isles, you know, on the west coast of Scotland and going north. We did not do that. We were told by our cab drivers, hey, if you think Edinburgh is expensive,
Try this.
you get on one of these islands, because then you're trapped. There are several islands or peninsulas that are connected by a causeway, but if you don't cross the causeway at the right time or get back, the tide comes in and you're stuck.
And your causeway's gone? Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right? The tide is significant.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we go to the Bahamas, we do a lot of tide watching because
Right.
definitely things are available, and then oh shit, we're stuck here for 6 hours.
Right.
But yeah, I can't imagine though an actual road being closed by the tide. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So one of the first places we went to the castle that's featured in both Monty Python and Outlander, that
Okay.
series.
Mhm.
I've only subsequently watched an episode and a half just to go, oh yeah, that's that castle.
Right.
It's the castle in Monty Python's Holy Grail. They use it for like 7 or 8 things.
Mhm.
They use it for Camelot. They use it for when
The
they
French.
rescue. When they rescue what they feel is the princess, but it's a prince,
Yes.
and they go and kill everybody in the square that's featured there. Guy gets stabbed and falls off a sort of incline and onto some barrels. That was a college student, I guess. They just showed up and says, "All right, if you want to get dressed up, you can be in a movie." Anyway,
The
but-
70s, so fun.
But it also is the parapet where the French taunt. You know, yes, we've got one. It is very nice. Now leave before I taunt you a second time.
A second time.
Yeah. So all the people there were super knowledgeable, like about where everything happened, and there's audio. It's not Cleese and it's not Idle. I think it's Terry Gilliam, who has passed away since, does the narration for it. So like if you're at a thing and like this is the well, then you get all the history of. But then if you hit
Oh, it
another
sounds
button,
fun.
you get. This is where we filmed this, and
Sure.
you know, all the backstory on it. That's
Dig
where
it.
I got the college student
Nice.
thing. There's a kitchen in there, and they film like 3 or 4 scenes in there, different, just to, how the angles
Change
were.
the angle, looks like a different place.
Right.
Sure.
It's not as exciting that way, is it?
Seems very exciting to me. I would love to go.
No, I don't know. Like you think like, oh, this is the, you know, it's the kitchen. They use the kitchen. They use the archway of a giant oven to look like a chamber. It's all
cool.
it's all too much movie magic.
I
you
don't know. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess. Anyway, we went there. We went to Oban. Oban, probably one of my favorite small towns. Even though I can't say it was, we had dinner at a bar that was super small and cozy, and just great place to watch people, and all the pubs we went to were like that. But probably my favorite small town to stay, and maybe stay a couple days, even though I couldn't say like, well, you have to stay there because you have to do X, Y, and Z. It's just like everyday life kind of thing.
Cool.
Like, I don't know if you can think of a town like that in your travels. Like, to me, it was also in Ireland was Kinsale, in the Ring of Kerry. I mean, Bamberg, even though I have never gone to, I've been to Bamberg, but I've never been to, I've been to the breweries that make smoked beer, Rauch beer. But I didn't go to the malt facility.
Oh, okay.
I've been to, you know, Schlenkerla and
Yeah.
Brauwijk, Griefenklau, and there's like 3 or 4 others in town. So even without the breweries, like that's a town like just like to hang out in, you know, like
Right.
So I mean, maybe in Arizona it would be like Bisbee,
Yeah.
right? Or Jerome,
Sonoyta.
or Sonoyta.
I mean, I like to go to places
Sonoyta,
there.
yeah, but
There's not really a town to hang out in. There.
No, but you're on the right
Patagonia.
track. Patagonia, yeah, you're on
It's
the right
a
track.
cute little town.
Yeah. Anyway, Oban, and the next day we had an appointment to go to Glenmorangie because my wife got on the internet and saw Harrison Ford as a spokesman, and even though obviously he wasn't going to be there,
That would have been cool, though.
I think, you know, like he just does the commercials and then he goes.
Yeah.
Takes his couple of cases with him, but he does wear a kilt in that, and I put a pin in that. Talk about that later.
Sure.
But we were there for a tasting, just 5 of us on a tour, and one of the gentlemen who is one of the original men of Glenmorangie, which is what they were called, the 16 original employees,
Oh my.
or the 16, not original, but they only had 16 jobs for the longest time. And back in the 80s, he was one of the 16. He was Gordy. He was in the Harrison Ford videos briefly. He is their he's the masher.
Oh.
The master masher.
Master Masher.
I don't know what they call him.
Huh.
Here's the thing, man. That is such a job that, like, no offense to Glenmorangie and a wonderful tradition, but I don't think he knows very much beyond his job.
Oh,
Right.
very specialized.
Well, and probably not a lot of the science. It is a process. It is right? So not to take anything away, because, you know, I don't usually ask questions at tours. He was on our tour because they were shut down. He wanted to, they were cross training, and he wanted to obviously bring his stories, which he had great stories,
Uh-huh.
you know, but I just said, hey, he showed the rinsing tanks, I guess we would call them, where they get the tails of the sugars out as much as possible. And he's like, he asked everyone to smell. He's like, yeah, there's like sort of an apple cidery smell, and that's part of the fermentation process. It was.
And what is the grains that they use for theirs?
Well, that's another thing. They wouldn't really tell us,
Okay.
but I mean, they used to
Could
malt
be
on
anything,
site.
really.
Historically, they used to malt on site.
Barley.
Used to be, but now I'm sure they use BSG or some equivalent of a larger company that specializes in grains.
Maybe Thomas
specific.
Fawcett.
And well, and you know, they only use straight up probably base grain and occasionally chocolate malt.
Okay. Yeah.
So right. So anyway, he's talking about, like, yeah, this is where fermentation happens, and you know, we want to get all the sugars out. So this tank, and he's like, smell it, and like, it has. So I just said, hey, well, clearly there's more than just, because they mentioned they use beer yeast. Obviously, they pronounced it like it was some exotic, you know.
Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
You got it, man. Exactly like that. And it's like, well, you also have some other fermentation going on here. How do you? Is it in there so short that could never like overtake and change the flavor profile? And he just went back to gravity readings. I'm like, all right, that's not what I was asking, but okay. I don't think he was holding back a secret. I just don't think that's anything that
They talked about. It just was. Hey, this is how it ferments.
This cake has never changed for hundreds of years.
Yeah, it still works.
We don't change anything, so why would you ask me
A question like
about
that?
science?
Why are you ridiculous?
So I never sort of revealed my vocation.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, we're done. I'll just enjoy this.
I'll just listen.
Yeah. So they gave me some tasters. I literally put my nose in it, dipped my tongue in it, and did not drink because we had hours of driving on very small roads, and this was Brenda's birthday present, so here you go. So she partook, and I did not.
Yeah.
It's important to note because I did not drink that day at all. And we, the night before, we were also in Aberdeen, which is a music-oriented, it's sort of a music capital. So we did some stuff that night.
Cool.
Next morning we drove, and then we drove to Glenlivet, which is you go south and into the country a little bit, and that was a 2-lane odyssey. I don't know how they built that building in the middle of nowhere. It's like rolling hills and like, how do they get trucks?
Horses.
How do they get trucks to? I mean, they're pulling out volumes of
Yeah.
whiskey out of that, and
Lots.
there's 2 other distilleries, and apparently you can stay at one of them and walk 5 or 6 miles between the 2, like make a whole day or 2 out of it. We didn't do that, but like I don't know how they do. Like we're in the middle of nowhere, and then it takes forever to get somewhere else. So
Volume.
yeah, so we drove to Ballard, about where Balmoral is, in August. The royal family takes over Balmoral, so you can't tour it.
Oh my God.
Doesn't matter. We knew
Wait,
this.
what? The British royal family?
Yes.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So it's beautiful country. It is a national park. So like, there's things to do. We did those things, and we get to this small town, and it's just a waypoint before we get back to the west coast of Scotland. And we went to a pub. Won't name it. It's not their fault, probably. I don't know. Like I had 1 beer and a steak and kidney pie. And I had been eating haggis, and I mean, organ meats are not something I shy away from. And I don't think it was the organ meat in particular. Could have been anything, right?
Sure.
I got food poisoning, like in my top 10.
Like God was punishing you.
Oh my God. It is definitely in the top 2 of the times I got sick internationally on vacation. The other time was in Peru when I got some sort of food poisoning, and I had to hike
Far.
to Machu Picchu.
Oh yeah.
And then the next day, there's that mountain behind it. Hike up the mountain.
And then
to the
we
vista.
had also the altitude sickness as
Yeah,
well. How
yeah.
fun for
So
you.
I'm just chewing like cocoa leaves. And anyway,
Ah.
I got back to Lima and slept for 24 hours. And luckily, Brenda was with Jeff and Melinda, and they could do their thing. And I just remember
Pinball champion Jeff.
Yes, we were flying out the next day, and she was like, "Well, we got you some Burger King." I'm like, "Okay."
You're like,
Burger
well, it
King.
seems safe.
And she's like, what are you looking forward to? You know, once you can eat again back in the United States." I'm like, "I don't know that this Burger King is gonna fix me." The Burger King fixed me.
Oh, good.
I was fine. I was fine on the second leg of the flight. On the first leg, I was hallucinating. Could have been all the cocoa leaves.
Could have been.
Anyway, I am not well in Ballard,
Yeah.
UK,
We're flashing
Scotland.
back to Scotland, yeah, and you are not
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we talked about this with Tom and Jill. Midsummer Murders, the British murder mystery comedy where
Yes.
everyone gets murdered a week in a small town, and
Mhm.
I mean, if anywhere, then if they should send the National Guard anywhere, it's any of these storybook small town detective shows.
Where the murders just happen over
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah, exactly.
This little tiny town that has a murder every week.
So I'm like, this is like the total plot for a Midsummer Murder. Husband and wife and come to a small town. They're noticeable because there's not a lot of tourists in this part of town, and like the husband disappears. So either I could have been murdered. Who food poisoned the American? You know,
Yeah.
right?
It was
And-
definitely his wife.
Right, but also then she was doing her own thing, which, you know, like, I'm glad that we have a relationship where we also travel independently, and she just checks in on me and she does her own thing.
Right.
Right? She's not sitting there with a cold washcloth on my head and I'm just fading in and out of consciousness, whatever. No, it's fine. It's fine, right? I mean, I'm sure you and Bonnie might have that as well. Like, oh, I'm going to go shopping.
Yeah.
Right? So, the other subplot was like, well, she started to go and do this hike, and she's like, well, maybe, like, since there's nobody out here, maybe I should turn around, because, like, literally nobody knows where I am. So that could have been a plot, like, and my alibi is like, well, I had food poisoning. I was
stuck in the hotel, sick the whole time. Does anyone see you? Well, no, I was in my room.
Right, but I was in this weird sort of thing. Like, she was telling me what stuff was going on, so I did know details about, like, where she was. Like, how would you know that? Like, well, she told me. But what time was it that I don't know. Yeah, so we stayed.
I'm just glad that didn't happen.
We stayed an extra day. We had an extra day. It fit in our, I mean, it's not what we want to do. You don't want to be, I planned to be sick for 36 hours. Stayed an extra day, got back in the car, saw some of the coast. There were things that we wanted to do, but I just wasn't up to do more than get out of the car for a little bit and get back in. There was a Arborough. It's a small town, and they have smoked fish, and it's not kippers. It's not.
My.
It's only available there, and couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't even bring myself to go to the place.
Because of the fear of what you're gonna smell.
In Edinburgh, I got back on the horse because I went to a place that sells kilts. I got measured for kilts.
Oh yeah, kilt time.
Yeah. So
is that a very exhausting kind of fitting?
Yes.
Oh my.
Well, yeah, it should take a half an hour, but with the guy I went, it was 2 hours.
Okay.
Because he wants to know everything about you, and he's busy and he's scatterbrained. He's a genius. Like, because here's the thing: you can buy a kilt. You can buy a kilt off the rack. You're buying something from Pakistan or somewhere else, which is fine. They will find your tartan of whatever family you want to identify with, or there are some generic ones. Like, there is an Arizona kilt. The owner of this place is a 4th generation kilt maker, although he's not Scottish. His family migrated from Russia. But, he speaks with complete Scottish accent, obviously having his family for many years. He uses the Holyrood estate kilt because that's the kilt in the area that they are.
Okay.
He would have been a subject of the House of Holyrood.
There you go.
Anyway, he wears kilts every day. He's also one of the first people, I'm sure everyone has heard of Utilikilt. That's not him, but he was one of the first to start using non-traditional fabrics for kilts.
My friend Maria Natasha Vituli crafted a kilt for me.
Oh yeah?
Yes. I found a fabric that was similar to our Irish roots, and
nice.
She just made it for me.
Yeah. So.
And I have a Utilikilt too.
The standard kilt is 7 to 9 yards, right? All these ones that you buy are 3 yards, and it's folded. It's how many pleats, and
right.
The whole pleating is, if it gets damaged, you can repleat it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of it. It's to be passed on, and there's a whole. He goes over all the history, but he says, like, here's the thing: you can get any tartan you want, but someone's going to ask you about it. And so if you don't have a story, then if it's not your family and you don't have a story, then
you look like an ass.
Well, and he's like, it could be like, hey, my teacher, my favorite person in the world is this, and this is why, and then it doesn't matter. And
right.
The whole underwear underneath, it's like, that's bullshit. Like, you're if you had money, you had undergarments on. So people who didn't, because like he's like, if you really want to get traditional kilt, then you get the, I don't know, like the larger uncut, unsewn, and you bleed it yourself every day, and you lay down on the ground and you wrap
Roll
yourself
over in it.
put
Yeah.
your belt up, and like and you drape that. He's like, which is fine if you're going to a Renaissance fair once in a while. It's a lot more affordable. But if you're gonna go and get a fitted kilt, you're gonna spend minimum £800 to £1,600 just for the kilt, because all the things that are needed to hold it all together, that's like 100 pounds right there, because it's like 50 pounds worth of material and then
Right.
labor. So it's like all labor. So I mean, what you're buying is something that a product in and out, because you've had this experience. You don't have to, like, just buy whatever. But there's something to having the weight of it.
Sure.
Otherwise, it looks like a skirt.
It's
Like,
there.
it's like a
there to
sundress.
protect you from attacks
Anyway, the guy
of
that
bears and shit.
the guy that did our kilt, his name is Howie Taylor. Tailor. They changed their name from whatever it was years ago. Here are the kilts that he has made for Adam Lambert,
I know that guy.
Al Roker,
Heard of him.
Alan Cumming,
Yes.
actor, Brian Cox,
Yes.
Craig Ferguson,
I'm not going to say yes anymore, but yes. I'm done saying the yes.
Eddie Izzard, the original James Bond, George Lazenby, Prince Albert, HRH, Prince Albert, some guy from Korn, John McEnroe, Lance Bass,
John McEnroe, I couldn't even imagine him in a kilt. That's
Lenny
fun.
Kravitz,
Okay.
Jack and Kelly Osborne, and Ozzy,
Oh, boy.
the guy that plays Darth Maul,
Okay.
the band Right Says Fred.
I'm too sexy.
Yeah.
I'm too sexy for this kilt.
Robbie Williams, Billy Connolly, Richard Branson, and Vin Diesel. And he also made the kilt for Harrison Ford in the Glenmorangie videos. Although
We have come full circle, friends.
he didn't know that it was for Harrison Ford, and they altered it, so he doesn't put it on his website. He doesn't take credit for it, but he does tell the story. And that's why my first drink after Glenmorangie, being at Glenmorangie and having that one beer and getting sick in Ballater, I had a Glenmorangie while I was getting fitted, because they paid him in cases of Glenmorangie after they apologized and said, "Oh, we should have given you credit. We should have." So,
All right.
yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, those are more or less the highlights. At Edinburgh, we could have also went to the military tattoo, which is the drum and bagpipe thing, and everyone says you should do it, but it's later in the evening, and we wanted our time to be in the morning. Honestly, we had lost a day, so we wanted to do more things in the morning.
Yeah.
Especially since everybody who's going out to nightclubs and all that stuff is kind of slow to get up to. So that's when we did Holyrood Castle, where the royal family does official business, and there are staterooms and things that they still use. We did Edinburgh's really crazy, because like they have they have Edinburgh Castle on a rock, and towards the bottom, and this is all kind of in a volcanic area. There's a volcanic mountain that's called the Seat of Arthur, that has a bunch of lore involved with. But these two castles are connected by what's called the Royal Mile, and it is on a thin, narrow high point. And so at one point, that mile had 10-story buildings in the like 1400s, 1300s, because there was nowhere else to go up. And when they ran out of room to put a street, they put other houses, and they punched through the houses and called these things called closes. So there are 200 along this mile. There are 200 of these little basic dead ends that just give you access to another building.
Okay.
And a little courtyard.
Oh,
That's it.
wow.
So it's crazy. It's just
I gotta do some Google Earthing on that.
yeah, no, it's nuts. And it's no longer there, but like they had a depression area where basically it was the entire sewage of all it was a moat, a giant man-made lake, and it was just their sewage.
Full of poop.
This was one of the dirtiest cities in medieval times. Like people throwing buckets of their sewage out the door. And they had the plague. They had the plague bad. They lost hundreds of thousands of people.
They had the plague bad.
Well,
yeah.
So
plagues aren't the same everywhere. It's true.
No, and they just made it worse. You know.
Yeah. Well, they learned since then, right? Just making sure. I don't want to show up and be like, oh shit.
I don't know. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So, I think I've told the movie Trainspotting. The last time I watched it, I had a fever, and I was watching it, and it was so disturbing, more disturbing than some of the parts are. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, this would be my luck, just to get like this weird.
And I'm like tripping the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I did go to Glencoe, which is this beautiful Highland Hill area. Beautiful. I'd like to spend more time there. I also found the point in the movie Skyfall where Bond and M pull over and he's overlooking where his estate is. There's a section of road. Took the same picture there. That was fun.
Cool.
Yeah, but taking between Monday through like Thursday, all that time in between, that really put a damper.
Yeah. You deserve another trip. You should go to Madrid. Make up for your days in Scotland that you got gypped out of.
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't get COVID.
I hope that for you as well.
So, what would I tell people who go there? If you don't have to drive, Edinburgh is a great base of operations because you can take an hour train to Glasgow, and you can also, you can hire people to take you to Glencoe or the distilleries. I would say spend the money.
So you're saying don't drive?
You can drive, but there's no driving in touring these distilleries. You can tour one if you're staying in the same place and you can watch it. They're just too far apart.
Right.
Even if it's a few miles, it's just not worth it. The couple that we took our Glenmorangie tour with, they had a driver, and he was in a kilt. So, definitely try to stay away from the tourist areas. Don't go in August. There were a lot of things.
What was the weather like?
Oh, it was hot for them. It got up to 80. It was kind of like Flagstaff this last couple of weeks. It was entirely too hot for everybody who lives there in the 80s.
And humid.
Yeah, and it didn't rain that much. It rained when we were in the car. So I brought all kinds of rain gear that I didn't need.
Yeah.
I try to come as close to one bagging as possible, but since we had a car, then your car is your giant suitcase. International
travel for more than a week is tough to one bag, I guess, unless you're going to do some laundry.
Yeah. Yeah, they sell detergent that comes in sheets, like a.
It's all I use.
Yeah. And every hotel there that we stayed at, high end, low end, because we stayed in a real period piece in Inverness. They all have the heated towel warmer thing, so you could do your laundry and hang your stuff up. It dries pretty quickly that way. Yeah, we were in Aberdeen, and it was it was a gritty city. It was That's where all the music is. That's where there's a giant bookstore there. We didn't get to go because it was closed by the time we got there. But next to it is a church where during the Scottish Reformation, when they found a leader, Bonnie Prince Charlie, that was going to lead an uprising against the British, and they got decimated in the end, and they killed hundreds of Scottish loyalists, the Jacobites, in a church graveyard. And literally, to make it more efficient, they cut a groove in some of the headstones so that the rifles could be rested on the, and then they backed them up to another gravestone and like killed hundreds of people. It's crazy. Like I have no idea why the Scottish. I know they don't like the English, but I'm to this day I don't know why they probably haven't just killed everybody in the middle of the night. Like they have a terrible history with the British.
Huh.
When they blame the British,
and they're on
not wrong.
And they're on the same island.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Irish don't.
Day to day they get along, but like they have their own parliament now that meets in Edinburgh. I don't know, man. I don't think the rumblings for the separatist vote is strong, but I don't know. Like
a couple of years ago, it was pretty strong.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did not. You can drive. But you have to be careful.
Right.
Because
if you're doing booze tourism.
Well, and if you're one of those people who has to drive whatever limit they give you, forget about it. This is the same in Ireland. You're on a 2-lane road with blind corner. It's still going to be listed as 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
There's no possible way anyone. Now, is there a section of like?
Have you been to Texas?
Is there a section of like maybe 100 yards that you could go 60 conceivably? Yes, and people probably do. But like, you cannot. It's physically impossible for you to go
to make that turn at 60.
Yeah. Or responsibly, even on a straightaway, because there's blind hills
right.
Yeah. I would like to look at the highway numbers because, like, I think in the United States we engineer roads so they can be traveled on quickly, but we get rid of trees and we clear this right away. And, and then we make it so dangerous that nobody wants to even walk on the side of a highway.
Right. That's our jam.
Right. And you will run into cyclists on these roads. So, like, even if you're not going to avoid someone coming at you, like, you could run right up into somebody. So, yeah.
All right. Hey, should we take a break?
Yes, we should.
All right. All right, let's roll this thing again.
All right.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Speaking of tourism, Rob, more news coming out about U.S. tourism numbers being down over summer.
Yeah.
By 30 to 35%. And I've seen people that are in complete denial.
Yes.
It's very funny.
Oh, people in the industry in denial, or just
both industry and non, saying like, "Oh no, it's not down. Don't worry, the snowbirds will be back any day now."
Oh, that's clearly not going to happen.
No, and also people saying, "Oh, look at the numbers at Sky Harbor. Like they're not down." Well, they are. After like decades of increasing, there was actually a dip in spring, and into summer on Sky Harbor's numbers, which is absolutely unheard of.
Right. Did you get those numbers from the tourism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Arizona Office of Tourism.
The Tucson, the gateway to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Just decimated right now.
Yeah. No, I know.
And that affects our members too. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about.
But I don't know why the denial is such a thing where people are like, no, that's not. It's not happening. It's just as busy as always. No, like literally, there are numbers and data that say it's not.
Yeah, yeah. And, there are people saying, well, the dollar isn't as strong, so they'll come back. Like, well, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Like, I still want to continue to travel internationally. I think it's one of my favorite things. And, yeah, I got beat up. We got beat up on the dollar.
Right.
So,
Huh.
well, if they're in denial now, the reckoning is going to come in this last quarter, because that's when we would see snowmobiles. And Dave Infante has been posting about how these tariffs have literally killed the American wine industry.
Right.
I haven't talked to my colleagues here, but it went literally from like 2% now of what it was.
Yeah. Exports have gone down 98% compared to last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Infante mentioning that. He also had a big article in VinePair about the capacity crisis, that we are so overbuilt on fermentation capacity that there's
Right.
essentially, if you imagine, like, the supply is so high and the demand is not kept up with supply, that you can't even get any money for making contract beer.
Yeah. No.
I suppose that's the case for, like, maybe that matters for a lot of bigger companies like City Brewery, or what is the one in Wisconsin?
I think that it hits different. You get, think of these tanks like, transportation vehicles, right? Like, so you got giant planes, you've got cruise ships, you've got individual cars for hire, you've got buses, you've got different capacities. I think that hits them all differently. Yeah.
Right.
If you have a brand that needs, transatlantic shipping and planes, giant planes, that's one thing. But if you've got a brand to launch, you definitely have a lot of options. But you don't need.
You don't need 100 barrels of it today.
No.
You need
but
10.
Nevertheless, it's not a great thing.
Right.
A great thing. But I can see where pockets of the industry could do well, because I think, again, if you have a choice, if a lot of people have capacity and you have a choice, and that brewery is willing to make your beer, wouldn't you choose somebody who has a reputation already as a quality brewery in some way, either fan favorite, volume leader, award-winning, somebody who you culturally align with, right? And that doesn't happen when everybody's too busy to even take your call.
Yeah.
So there are still opportunities.
Right.
Similar with housing. Even though rates are coming down.
Oh my God! Please. Do not tell me that a quarter-point reduction in the last 6 months is rates coming down.
Well, I'm saying that even though that is happening and people think that it will soon become a buyer's market, it hasn't been the case, because people who have these properties, unless they're compelled to move, and they don't have to, they have a much lower rate, and they're just taking it off the market. So it's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market, it's just not a market. And I think that's fair to say with this current restriction on tourism, travel, tariffs. I think that's the case. We have a formula for not doing a lot of anything.
Speaking of things to do, I had another member reach out to me yesterday asking about legislation. He wanted to get a number 7, maybe number 6, probably number 6. They were in the lottery. It's a smaller county.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one. They did not get it. It was $57,000 for that license being issued. They are willing to pay it, but they did not win the lottery.
Right.
We discussed that we're hoping to have a new path for Arizona breweries on a number 3 license to serve Arizona wine and spirits. What is that looking like? Like, what is the plan on that? It's very unclear to me.
Well, there is language that we have available. There are people who
This is not a thing that we are promoting, but that we are aware of.
Well, I don't know what we as an organization are doing.
Sure.
Because a couple of weeks ago, laid out the environment and the threats and the opportunities and challenges. Right. I don't know what we as an organization are going to do. There are people who are willing to write that language. There are people who are willing to sponsor that bill. There are...
And that bill being what?
Well, it's not a bill until we put all the pieces together. What goes into that could be that and that alone, or it could be part of a larger rewrite of the various licenses and what they can and can't do, which you might want to bring in the wineries and distilleries, and they may need a piece to make it go down, medicine go down for them. So I don't have an answer for you on that. I just know that there are people willing to support those ideas. The question is, are the traditional people who would oppose that going to oppose it, and to what extent? And they are going to oppose it. Whether they could be won over, whether they are going to actively fight it is anyone's guess. And then once you have an understanding of that, then you have to understand how many resources you can bring to bear in support of that. So,
well, I would say our members are super into this idea, and they would be,
right.
I think, more motivated to work on this than anything we've seen in the past.
Yeah. And for that particular issue, there are people who already have the number 6.
Right.
Who probably would be like, well, no, I've done this.
I already had to do a lot of work. Yeah.
And or you're going to devalue my license, or you're
Right.
going to devalue my business. There's some of that. And what would assuage their fears? What would I don't think that those people would want anything legislative in return. So I don't think that's an avenue. I just think the people who say they want that have to start thinking in terms of how many hours am I going to devote to that cause, be it through public outreach, fundraisers, reaching out to their elected officials, coming together in groups with us to strategize. That's the question. And or how many thousands of dollars are they going to devote to it? Because it's like, and for some of them, it's tens of thousands of dollars. So I think all these things are possible. And how long are we going to fight this for? Because the odds of getting it done in 1 year are lower than 2 or 3 years. And so I guess the board is meeting in a week or so. I owe them a proposal on some things, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Nevertheless,
Right.
It doesn't have to be decided on immediately. I just need to know if it's in the realm of possibilities. I need to continue to probe. I need to continue to ask questions. I need to continue to engage the people who might oppose us and sort of put some seeds of ideas in their heads. I don't also know what might be a larger issue. If the hemp bill's coming back, that could be good or bad. If there's a larger alcohol-related issue or service industry issue, it makes our legislators pay attention to everything that we're doing. So it really depends.
Well, also it would give us some room for negotiation on different things. When there's a larger bill coming up that they want something,
Right.
and you say, well, cool, we'll support you as long as you support
Right.
this. And
Right.
If it's just us trying to say, hey, we want to do this, then there's not a lot of negotiating
So I
going
thought
on.
I think I brought this up, but I'll bring it up again as a smaller, more bite-sized way to chew on this. Is what if it was just cider? So the effort for our number 3 licenses to sell cider is one way to crack it. Another way to crack it is to say cider is under a certain percentage belong in our beer codes. And so therefore, if we change that, by virtue of the designation, our breweries can sell it. Another way to do that is
They would
to
have
say,
to change their license to a 3,
no,
which wouldn't be hard.
no, it's
Oh,
just
just-
classified as
okay.
as a beer
Okay.
for
great.
tax purposes and
Sure.
otherwise. That's one way to crack it. Another way is to say, this is administratively they don't like this, but like we could just create a license just for that product that we could sell. We could change the ability for our breweries to make our own, and therefore, because we can sell 20% of other breweries' beer, we could also make their product potentially. We could change the cideries, the way they're licensed, to if they're only making that product, then make them. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and there might even be a way in existing law to square that circle, but it might take a legal challenge. I don't know enough about that, but I'm sure there's some softness in some of the way that this is written. So let's just say you get some of that solved. Then you've got like, well, who gets to move it? Who gets, if we change some of the cider things, do they get?
What are their
rights
production
Right.
levels and limits? And
Yeah. So even with that small thing, there's a lot of options, but there's also a lot of complications.
yeah.
Cider did have a moment. I don't think they're selling volumes like comparable to how beer took off, but I don't know what the distributor is interested in.
Sure.
And do they see cider as a growing percentage of their business? I don't think so. I do think that they are looking to serve more types of products.
Well, I
they
also
want to
think
address. I think they want to address the issues they see in bars and restaurants. So I don't know. Like they may look at our involvement in this as a positive thing. To me, the distributors are setting a lot of products that they want access to, but I think they're looking for a reason to cut some of these SKUs out too. I don't know. It really depends on where in the cycle their business is, especially if they're family business. They got someone to pass this on to. Like, there's no reason to let go any of your cards, none. Or if they're looking to sell to somebody, they have to understand what might sweeten that pot.
and
or
they might want to streamline.
They might want to streamline it. Conversely, too, they might want to say, "Hey, this is who we are. This makes it easier. You don't have to go through all this hassle when you assume all of our inventory." So, yeah, I don't know where we are with that.
Yeah.
But on some level, I have to think that there is some alignment between our goals and our distributors' goals. There is. If they can get rid of some dogma, and I do think that some of our members are fundamentally against getting along with our distributors for some reason, even if it warrants progress. I do know that.
Huh.
I do know that some of the
And
games.
these are breweries that don't work with distributors now. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to get along with distributors.
Well, I mean, nationwide, I know that's the case. In the state,
yeah.
I do know individuals who say, I don't know, like, well, we got this. We worked with them, like, well, they think there's some ulterior motive all the time. And I'm like, a lot of times it's not that, especially in this state. I still think that we're of a size of state where if we get agreement on some things, we could do something that no other state possibly could do, because I think we're small enough and we're big enough, right? Excuse me. I think it would be impossible to do some of these things if you're California, if you're New York,
Ohio.
You've got too many. I mean, just in general, you have too many of your own members to answer to, let alone competing interests of other
Industries.
manufacturers and distributors and retailers. You know, in Ohio, you're going up against Kroger head to head, like the Kroger, the headquarters, right? So that can't make it easy.
Right.
So I don't know. I didn't answer your question. I just made it more complicated.
It's all good. I think that's great. Everyone wants to learn a little bit more about the inside baseball, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if happen to meet with any of those people to see how excited they are when I explain what it might take, and like, I mean, having the ability to say yes, we will spend money on this makes it easier, but it's not the only way to get this done. Like,
Right.
Especially if they are from a handful of districts that have people in leadership, and we can set those meetings up. And I think a lot of these people who are party leaders or Senate leaders, House, I think they don't feel like they're answerable to a lot of our members. Because they don't know who they are. They've never traditionally interacted. But I got to believe if you're an OSO and people know who you are. Whether
Hey, if you're in Prescott, everyone knows who Lazy G is.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. There's
Yeah.
not a person that lives in that town who doesn't know who Lazy G is.
Right. Yeah. Now, they don't know what Lazy G wants until Lazy G tells them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our best arguments come from rural areas like that. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Couple cool things. We're at Arizona Wilderness today. We haven't really mentioned that.
Yeah, no. And
You're having the mild.
I'm having the mild. I had the Pine Mountain Pale Sour. It's a good way to start the day.
I had Estrella Pale Ale, I think. Yeah, it was great. I really needed something that was easy, clean, perfect. And now I'm having the Italian Pils. Under 5%. Hooray.
Wow. That's something I normally get.
I know. Look at us swapping beers here. You have a mild. I have the Pils.
This is funny because after I got sick in Scotland and like I was getting back on foods, like Brenda was ordering things that I normally would order, you know, and I was ordering just like, and she was doing all the drinking, and I was just like, I think I'll just have a Diet Coke.
Oh, that sounds
And even a
awful.
Diet Coke was reluctant. It's like it had bubbles. Like I just need something non.
Yeah. You should have said milk.
Ooh, no, I have lactose intolerance, which my gut chemistry keeps in check until you start all over again, and then like who knows?
Oof.
Who knows? Sorry.
We
anyway.
did have a decision through the Secretary of State's Commission on Arizona 250, America 250.
Yeah.
That Mother Road Brewing Company is going to be the official A250 beer that goes into grocery stores.
Right.
And has a can with a label that says official A250 beer. Our members that are not in that space are also welcome to make an A250 beer, call it an A250 beer, as long as it is not packaged
Right.
or sold at retail.
Right.
I would think they could probably sell it through their tap room, but
I think they're more concerned about the logoing they did, and
the logo, as a part of the discussion, is that member breweries will be able to use it.
Right, but just not on packaging.
Not on package.
So
yes.
you could say
You could have a
Rob's
poster. You could have a tap handle.
No, so we were concerned that they wanted to do an exclusive top to bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and so, I said, oh, well, if you do what you're doing, you're going to benefit one brewery, and maybe that's the best thing for fundraising, and maybe that's the easiest thing. But when you do that, you're also saying no to not only our breweries but other distributors
Sure.
who have relationships in these grocery stores. I'm like, it's a lot to get something to the grocery store, so I think it's important they had the discussion. I think this is a good compromise. I know they were really wanting someone who represented the state, not necessarily from Phoenix.
No. Straight up said, bold-faced.
Okay,
It should be someone who's not in Maricopa County, which was
right.
really
I
kind
don't-
of shitty.
I don't like that argument. I just know that they were originally just going to offer it until we sort of said, hey, well, consider these other things. If any of our member breweries have a question about how they should be able to use the branding and the marketing and the interaction with the Arizona Office of Travel and some of the historical organizations in recreating revolutionary pubs and all that stuff, talk to us, because there is a way forward. But honestly, it's when it straight comes down to it, no one's going to clip you for saying I am celebrating Arizona's involvement in America 250.
Santan Brewing Company and Distillery is going to have the official bourbon,
That's great.
so that's nice.
That was something that would have not probably have happened until we encouraged them to talk to both distributors and use the distributors to get the word out as well.
And they just opened their Santan Spirit House in Terminal 4.
Yeah, I
So
haven't
a
seen
great
it.
opportunity to share that A250 message to travelers.
Right, and that's really the goal. Like I said, certainly having something in grocery stores is important. There's no guarantee that just because the state and the public-private A250 movement in Arizona has put this logo and they've said that this brewery is the way
Official.
forward, and they have the support of obviously of their distributor, doesn't mean it's going to happen. By the way,
No, it doesn't have.
it's a short.
Every
it's a short,
grocery store gets to decide what
well,
goes on
and
their
it's a
shelves.
short cycle.
Very.
It could be a short cycle. I don't know. Like I was around for, the 200th anniversary of the United States, 1776, and I remember collecting beer cans with 1776 on it, and by no means was there any official.
or
I know there was a
craft beer in the
bicentennial
world,
commission, but that didn't figure. And that was when.
Such a simpler time we lived in the 70s.
7-Up would do a can for every state, and you collected those, and
McDonald's toys.
yeah. So, I think it's great. I think it's good that they went through the exercise, and I happen to believe that they probably got a better deal because there was actually some competition in the bidding of that. I think there were more funds allocated than originally suggested. Perfect for the cause. So I'm not mad about that. I'm sure that someone's going to go, "Hey, Rob, how did this happen?" And well, we put it out there.
There was a process.
We put it out there.
Yeah.
If you were paying attention, you had the ability to be involved in that.
Chime in, sure.
So, yeah.
Well, when I was at the League of Cities and Towns event, the city of Yuma was all A250.
Yeah.
They had custom-made glassware
Nice.
A250 to give out. Chris from Prison Hill was there. They had an A250 beer. They were rolling.
Nice.
The whole town's 30-foot long, 3 times normal, was all A250.
Yeah, I'm really sad I missed that, but obviously I was committed to something else. But I really am impressed with that organization,
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, are we gonna have some issues with the cities and towns this year? Maybe.
Kind of always.
It's the case that we may have to talk about some of the. We made some minor changes to the special events license as prescribed by the state, and then and we rejected some things that the cities and towns wanted, but sort of now by fiat they've gotten them. They've become much more restrictive in issuing licenses, and so I don't know. There was a request to by some in the industry to continue to restrict our licenses on this, and I'm not sure what. I'm not necessarily going to suggest that we should go to war with the cities and towns on their individual decisions. I think at some point we have to say, well, as a marketplace, we're not choosing your town now because
you won't do your job. Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, you're not turning these. You're not efficiently turning these licenses over. You're sitting on your hands. Maybe we won't do things in these towns, and I mean, maybe that's what works out.
Here's the thing about Arizona. There's a lot of towns.
There's a lot of towns,
and a lot of them are anxious to embrace, and some of them are enormous and move slowly.
Yeah,
and that's just how it is.
And there are county islands.
There's
and
a lot. Yeah.
There's ways around this. No, I mean it's not gonna. I'm not suggesting that Waste Management is gonna pull up its stakes. I think they get their way with City of Scottsdale.
Anything they want. Yeah,
but
and the state.
Yeah,
I mean they would literally write a law just to say that is legal.
I do know.
Whatever they're doing is legal.
I do know from going to that conference, like, Kingman is definitely more into these things than Flagstaff.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And, I will say that Flagstaff has a bigger draw, but that's not to say that if I had something I wanted to get done and,
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
I learned something last week. Armory Park
Yes.
is going to be under construction through July.
Yeah. Oh, nice. What are they doing?
Whole bunch of stuff that will close the park through July.
Mm-hmm. That kind of kills our festival.
Got to find another place.
There's a church next door that's getting its liquor license. It is going to be a major concert venue. It's the one directly south of the park. They've informally had things, and it's like literally their opening weekend in September. With which I have tickets, is Calexico is playing 3 days in a row. It is the former event person from Hotel Congress and Charlie Levy here from Crescent Ballroom. So they're drawing some acts. They literally have a whole slate through the fall already set up.
Cool.
So not to say that that's related, other than
it might be. Right. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. So
we might also have a member who wants to work on an extension of premise and make the Baja happen there. But it definitely changes and makes things a little more complicated than they were before. So we work with the city in Tucson very well, and they were helpful in moving things forward. If we're not working with parks, then it's going to be a lot more for someone to work on.
I
might just end up being an event at a brewery. I don't know. Oktoberfest season is upon us, Rob.
Which, by the way, is when it's something like that's everybody in Tucson knows this is why it's happening. I have no problem with us doing a distributed festival or moving it around, or I'm actually, in lieu of having that space and not understanding what they're going to do to the park. Hopefully, they'll make it more. A nicer future place for Baja. Maybe there will be some improvements that way. I would prefer that we do it with a member brewery than, move it to another part of Tucson. Just
in a park.
Yeah.
Just a different park.
Without any character.
Probably gonna have to think about that for Real Wild and Woody too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just reading the tea leaves of what I heard when I was talking to the staff.
Yeah.
That might not be an option next year, but something to get on for sure. Hop harvest and fresh hop season.
Yeah, I just edited the issue.
Yeah. Well, not only are our
Podcast.
breweries going and harvesting fresh hops, but also it's fresh hop season in Oregon and Washington and Idaho.
Yeah.
We can look forward to some delicious fresh hop beers here in the valley soon.
I thought Renthouse drove some down.
I have not seen, other than knowing about Moto Sonora and seeing Renthouse, I don't know who else is doing fresh hop beers. Maybe I would imagine Dark Sky does one traditionally.
I don't know the name. I don't know that for a fact. I do know that years ago, Zach Schroeder would coordinate with some hop farm in Yakima, and like
Yakima quality hops, my buddy Tim, he's the best.
yeah. So, but like that would manifest in beers that didn't necessarily tell you that that's what was happening, right? Because like I know he did it but I know also there were other hops going to other parts of the state. I don't think he's doing that anymore. So, but like it wasn't a big thing, but I know it was a thing. With him at least.
Oso's done it regularly. I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah.
Hope some people have some fun action going on. I mean, if I'm just throwing out who might do it, this place, Slow Body. I mean,
Yeah.
people that are selling most of their beer in their own spaces more likely to do it than people who are in a larger retail environment, right? And who
Yeah.
are more committed to IPAs, and those are Renthouse, Wilderness, Slow
Yeah.
Body.
Yeah. Slow Body? I know more lager centric. No?
Generally, it's a lot of New Zealand hops.
Yeah.
You know how that works for me.
Yeah, well, if I move to New Zealand, you'll come visit though, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned that Oktoberfest season is upon us. Have you seen all these on your social media feeds?
No. I did buy some from Renthouse the other day.
Oh yeah, the fest beer. Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
that was good.
Yeah, I just whenever I see them, I'm like,
Beers and events, man.
I'm waiting for the haters. Like it's early because again, if you want to have a chance at a medal, you have to make them. I mean, ideally, you're on your second batch, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to send them to competition.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that favors smaller breweries to be able to iterate through a couple versions of it, especially if you're not packaging it. So,
Man, package it. Come on, just
I'm
a
just,
little bit.
I'm just saying. that
Everybody
you could-
has a canning line.
I'm just
now.
saying that you could do
Feels
a
like.
pilot batch without packaging it.
What
to,
the heck?
Why
Oh,
is-
I did have a call. Whoops.
Oh,
Oops.
all right, second break.
All right, second break. Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
It's on.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're
Break
back.
number 2 is over. If you decide to keep that in.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I just wanted to.
I don't have a whole lot more to go through.
That's all right. It's all right. I've gotten good at cobbling together stuff based on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know it's out right now. But the podcast that you did with 2 Jake Olsons is out now
yeah.
as we speak. I don't
Right.
know. I have the interview you did with
Kevin?
Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy.
I have that. It's done.
Nice.
It's scheduled to be the next episode.
Sweet.
I named it The Brewer That Came Out from the Cold. As a reference to some of the James Bond stuff he was talking about.
Certainly. I love it.
And I kept all the Steve stuff in. I didn't understand if it was. So hopefully, he looked at the camera like, yeah, I know what's going on. So hopefully he's cool with that.
Yeah.
We have the podcast with Kevin, who wrote Beer Hikes of the Southern Rockies,
Right.
which I thought was great. Audio is amazing.
Really phenomenal.
Except our camera is kind of bullshit. Because of the lighting behind us, and we didn't have time to dick around with it. And he came in for about 20 minutes, and then his video ended. So
Like mine with the 27-minute cutoff.
he sent some photos, so I'll be able to stitch that. But as a podcast, I think it's
Awesome.
great.
Cool.
And then we have this. So I don't know what order we're
It's
going
all
to do this.
stacking up.
Yeah. Well, no,
Wow.
it's good. It's good.
Good job.
So we talked about some things. I don't know. I guess they're all evergreen, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do have, let's see, the West Side Woody and Wild.
What?
That's 8-bit.
Okay.
They have their West Side Woody and Wild
Okay.
event. That's next Saturday. We have 100 Mile Brewing doing water taxis.
Yeah.
That is fun.
So
I didn't even know about it until the day of.
is it related to the fact that we, as part of the omnibus bill, supported the ability for drinks to be served on non-Coast Guard navigable waters?
I could not say.
Okay, well, it is a thing. We did pass our friends Pete Schelstraete and Craig Miller
Yes.
have clients that wanted to be able to have these boats have liquor licenses.
Yes.
The problem was
A liquor license is tied to an address.
no, that's not it. There are conveyance licenses.
Sure.
So your airlines have conveyances.
Airplanes, yeah.
The, what is it? The Dolly, SS Dolly on Apache Lake, where sometimes you have beer dinners. We've had beer dinners
Yep,
there.
yep.
Has this license. Tempe Town Lake is not recognized as a navigable waterway, and therefore any watercraft that are on that body of water cannot be inspected and approved by the Coast Guard.
Uh-huh.
So we had to make an allowance for that because they couldn't get the same conveyance license, and we couldn't convince the Coast Guard.
Right, to come out and look at a little boat in
Yes.
Arizona.
Yes.
In Tempe.
Yes. So I'm just mentioning this because
I don't
even
know
though
if
even
they're
though
even
even though
serving. I have
even
no
though I didn't
idea.
write any of that statute, even though it's not my client, I'm telling you that we are as an organization part of this process, and if that is what's happening, or if that's a result of what's happening, or even if it's not, in this business that we approved never gets off the ground, this is the kind of shit that we
Yeah.
will never get credit for.
Right.
So, you know, so yeah, I mean, having water taxis go from that part of Tempe to the very congested game area of ASU games. Hopefully, it'll be even so congested because they
It seems
just,
super cool.
right. So right, and I didn't get a chance to listen. I just saw some of the promos. You did some stuff with D-Lo. So I haven't listened to that. You can maybe tell me all about that. What you talked about a body of things with D-Lo?
Oh yeah, so many things.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll
You
have
should
to
listen to it. Yeah.
I will listen to it.
The D-Lo.
Was there a takeaway, or can you tease it?
Man, we talked about so many things. We talked about legislative process and agendas. We talked about hospitality and how our members have been embracing and need to continue to embrace those opportunities and
Right.
a lot of things.
David DiLorenzo, Bar and Restaurant Insurance.
Yeah. Ambassador
And so, like,
insurance
some of the
group.
things he won't ever take credit for is there was a time, and it's still always, it's still more expensive than it should be, but underwriters weren't underwriting the insurance for bars and restaurants.
They just said no.
they left the state.
Yep.
A couple of the larger ones, and so that made it less competitive here. And it never reached down to affect brewery insurance as much because it's a different risk group. But there was a time when we thought that could have really have happened and really been a threat to our industry. So we worked with Delo on a lot of this stuff, and you know, it wasn't from a lack of interest in getting it, some of the things he wanted done. It was literally you would have to rewrite the Constitution.
Yeah.
To get some of the insurance companies interested in coming here, because our Constitution does not limit the damages by trial lawyers for things like negligence and DUI cases. You know, one of the most Republican bootstrapping personal responsibility states in the union,
yes,
is saying like, well, no, it's not.
Let everyone sue everyone. It's fine.
So all I'm saying is he won't get credit for that effort, and it's still a concern of his. It's still a concern of mine. Like,
right,
because it's really difficult to change the Constitution of a state. Like, we almost didn't change the abortion consideration from 1840 whatever. That was not easy.
I mean, it's really hard if your legislators are all on one side.
Well,
I mean, if the majority, which is only 51%.
Everybody loves alcohol. Nobody wants to go and say they don't want to give us a lot. The public isn't interested in necessarily giving us what they feel might be carte blanche to do whatever we want. It's not a sexy issue for us to
do anything, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, because everybody, no matter what, if you don't drink, you're like, yeah, if I get maligned by somebody who's drinking, I want my payday.
I want maximum available.
Yeah. So it's not an easy issue. It's like saying, oh, like, why are you? If we think that the DUI laws are too restrictive.
I mean, a clever marketing person could definitely say, hey, look, you're paying more for everything in this state, like literally everything, because there are no limits on damages. If you don't have any limits on damages, everyone has to pay for those damages in the aggregate, like top level. When insurance is 4 times as much, your businesses have to pay for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a significant portion of the people here who think that tariffs are helping us. So
this is true.
Anyway.
All right, I think we should wrap this up.
We should.
It is time. These people are tired of listening. Our voices keep going on and on. Rob, this is not a beer podcast. It's a podcast about beer and Scotland.
Cheers. Beer has found us.